From time to time, we get waves of, detracting comments on videos where we talk about data. We look at numbers, we look at prices, we look at cost, we look at all kinds of things. And in that period, what I do is, we kind of assess what's going on. And I end up finding out that I actually have to go ahead and block some people from commenting on the channel. Now, they're free to create another account and comment, but the one thing that you're going to see as a theme is they're just people who do not like the truth, right? Especially when the truth is probably going against a lot of what it is that they've already believed. Now, I don't care what somebody would believe. I just hope that they would at least have the common decency to go ahead and at least let truth be what we have our discussions on rather than slander. Because you guys know the popular saying, right? The popular saying that goes, when, the debate is lost, slander becomes the tool of the loser. I want to go ahead and point out this comment from this user. This person, Maxwell Quevedo 5362. Maxwell, I'm going to have to block you. And I just wanted to go ahead and kind of just talk a little bit about this because I, made this video where we were looking at, numbers in terms of sales, comparing prices from one platform to the other. And it was very interesting because I didn't even see something that was there. But this person replied to the entire video and said, "Look at this fool." Come on. Okay, I'm a fool, but still, though, you didn't have to say it out loud. Like, chill, bro. Opening multiple windows just to preach value. Now, this is not the first time that this individual is actually engaging actively in this kind of behavior. They are usually, in some sense, commenting on the Video Game Fight School channel. As shown here, they have left 36 comments on the channel, and some of them are mainly just, talking points. And then one time they asked the question and said, "So now the data matters." This is what this person asked about a video, the video that I said, PlayStation, I'm, clarifying the narrative and all that. And then they claimed that I was doubting data after saying times that, data is important, of which I replied to them and said, "Oh, what data are you talking about?" And I made clear what's going on. It appears to me that this individual might be a salty fanboy, and there's probably no need trying to be truthful with them or even having a sensible discussion, because it seems like for some strange reason they have a belief system that is probably, aligned to go one way, and anything that actually goes or opposes the other is a problem. We saw one yesterday that came out and said, "Oh, anybody who listens to, or anybody would in their right minds would listen to Colin Moriarty over VG." And I'm like, well, who the heck cares? Like, is what I'm saying true or not? Address the video, address the content of the video. If you think that there's no value in what it is that, the video gaming companies are offering and such, it's very easy to prove. You can just simply show it. You know what I mean? You don't have to slander anybody. You don't have to call me a fool, or you don't have to name call. All you have to do is simply go ahead and bring the mathematical value and say, here is how it is. If you get what I mean, it's just like somebody saying, "Oh, I have you're engaging in a service, possibly 2 different phone plans." Right. That's something very interesting. Let's say this person is using T-Mobile, this person is using Verizon. Both of them say, "Oh, my phone plan is actually much more valuable than yours." Okay. What does your phone plan offer? I have this. This is afforded to me. Okay. The other person says, "I have that too." Tit for tat, you'll be able to go ahead and analyze and get to the bottom of it. But some people are not interested in that. They are interested more in console wars and stuff. I want to give you a little bit of advice. Get out of my channel with that stupid nonsense. I just don't have time for it. You all want to always come around and, cause some kind of a ruckus and make yourselves appear in videos. You get your wish sometimes, and you also get a block, for a good amount of time. Because you see, guys, if you don't kick these people, right, they're going to continue to distract what's going on. One of the reasons that you can see, and yeah, sometimes, it's worthwhile making the video and showing them and saying, "Hey, this is what they're doing." But what they want to do is they want to basically slow down the conversation. In their minds, many of them have basically made a decision that they realize is a very heavy one. They've invested and poured their money into PlayStation, and they realize that PlayStation has now taken their investment for granted. In the last few years, PlayStation has basically been in a very strange place. 2023, the main game that they launched was Spider-Man. 2024, they launched Astrobot. They launched Helldivers 2, but Concord was a bust. And their remake of Until Dawn was a bust. If you think about what PlayStation has been doing lately in the side of gaming, they need to put in work. Because even when they money-hatted games, those money-hatted games had to face market pressures that are basically there, and everybody got to see it, right? So this is where I think that they're basically, in a very strange place right now, with Xbox encircling them. Indiana Jones just finally left the top pre-order list because it's finally launched on their platform, so it's no longer on the top pre-order list, right? But if you go to, the pre-order list, you're still going to see Forza and Doom coming and sitting very close to that. While on the PlayStation side, they're selling a game that they've canceled or removed every hope of a sequel for, and reselling and repackaging it and claiming on their Twitter account, I saw this and I almost laughed, that this game is packed full of content. Well, it was packed full of content when it launched in 2019. Nobody is saying that. But it's very interesting that we will see the reality here, and somebody would also go ahead and start to talk nonsense in the face of what the truth is. I'd say desist from these kinds of brain rot conversations. If you want to see the truth, if you value what the truth is, you'll know right now that with all of the mirage that PlayStation has been playing, they've built Xbox into this machine. I mean, guys, you got to think about it, right? Just in this pre-order list. And I remember when people were saying this stuff, they were saying, Bethesda was not really a juggernaut. But you got to remember, though, that the reason Microsoft owns Bethesda is because of PlayStation. PlayStation put us here. Are you guys listening to me? PlayStation put us here because Xbox was pretty much doing business and PlayStation was going in, about to sink money to lock down Starfield. In fact, they had already money-hatted Ghostwire Tokyo and Deathloop. And once the Activision trial came into play, it was realized that Sony was going for a third money hack game. Instead of them to have invested in their own games, now they're sitting here with remasters, and PlayStation fans are frustrated because they don't have those Sony games that they should be playing or they've been bragging about, and they're coming over to the Video Game Fight School channel to argue against numbers. That's crazy. When somebody gets to the point where they have to argue against numbers, it's a dire situation. Like you understand how much pent up frustration it is for you to punch air. You know what I mean? And think that you're basically, I'm gonna hurt you, oxygen. I'm gonna give you a jab, hydrogen. Oh, come here, nitrogen. Get this headbutt. It's it's insane, right? So when you think about it, everybody was writing about it at the time. This is Nick Stat, Microsoft's priciest video game acquisition. Yeah, right. At the time, anyways. A $7.5 billion purchase of Bethesda Softworks. Shocked by on Monday, they were talking about Microsoft is no longer playing the same game as Sony, and the Bethesda purchase may well take the point clearer than before. C. Relax. Play games. You're fortunate that it's not PlayStation that bought these studios. They would have locked these games away from Xbox. But Xbox is like, it's okay. We're not going to stop you from playing the games that you were playing. And this one company has already, in this window, 2 games that are encircling around PlayStation titles. Do you see what's going on here? This is why I think a lot of people are upset. They hedge their bets, and it just didn't pan out the way they would have wanted it to pan out. It's not my fault. I went to PC and I told all of you, come to PC. So if you're on a PlayStation side and you're upset with what PlayStation isn't doing or is doing in terms of giving you and repackaging the same game for you, well, then you know what to do. You're very aware of what to do. Not coming on the channel and, causing up, fomenting a bunch of nonsense and talking, putting all these laughy emojis with silly comments. That doesn't make any sense. What makes sense is that you make the appropriate decisions to ensure that your gaming investment is properly respected. If PlayStation is not respecting it, then you need to take your business to where you think it will be respected. This is my opinion. Thank you very much for helping, make this video. This fool that you called is grateful to you. Peace out.